Hey, what's going on? Yeah, I just want to tell a story about how I first got in the t-shirt game. As far as screen print. First of all, I graduated out of high school in '85. Uh, Pretty much didn't do anything, but just work a 9 to 5 job, and that was pretty much it. Uh, I got married. Marriage lasted for a short while. Ended up getting a divorce in the early '90s. Then after that, I started thinking about trying to start my own business. And I wanted to use my talent for my business, which was art, of course, because I always been a straight A art student. I never received an art scholarship or anything like that. So I just wanted to take what I know and try to make some money at it. I tried to start an artist thing, portrait painting, painting people, doing African art and all that type of stuff. Didn't make any money, didn't get anywhere with that. I got involved in a lot of different art exhibits, didn't get anywhere doing that. I tried sign painting, didn't get anywhere with that. So I did all these different things in Milwaukee pertaining to my art, didn't get anywhere with that. Uh, then I started thinking about just trying to imagine how what I would do if I just left Milwaukee and went to a different city. And the first city I started thinking about was Los Angeles because I had an uncle that lived out there. And so I wanted to give that a try. So I flew out to Los Angeles and actually I caught the Greyhound in Los Angeles. It took me 3 days to get out there. I'd never do that again. Uh, Traveled damn near 4,000 damn miles on a damn Greyhound. That's the wrong way to travel. But yeah, that's what I did. And but anyway, when I got to Los Angeles, I was pretty much right there on the south side LA. My uncle, he lived on 75th and Dinker. Uh, Make the long story short, I was just moving about in LA and I came across this screen printing shop right off of 54th and Western. It was called Touch of Class at the time in 1994. I met a man by the name of Larry Weathers. He was the owner of the business. It's a screen printing business called Touch of Class, 54th and Western. And he asked me what I can do because I went up in there, just looking around. And he asked me how I was doing. I'm like, okay. He was like, may I help you? And I just asked him if he need any help. And then that's when he asked me, what can I do? So I let him know that I'm an artist and I'm looking to help out, doing any type of artwork. And so he asked to see my artwork. So I told him, well, I'll just be back the next day with my artwork. So that following day, I came back with a scrapbook with a bunch of photos of some of my work that I've done in the past. I had sketches and paintings. That's pretty much it. He liked what he saw, so he took me in. He had me doing different designs for a lot of different T-shirts. And what Larry was into was he was more into uh, what they call it, bootlegging shirts off of different concerts and events, and he made thousands of dollars. We made a lot of money going to different areas in Los Angeles. Also, we took trips out to Vegas, and we made money out there. Uh, One of the main events that we made money off of was the O.J. Simpson trial. And so I made most of my money off the O.J. Simpson trial and off the fights in Las Vegas. And one of the very first shirts I ever designed was an O.J. Simpson t-shirt. And I wish if I would have been thinking about it, I would have showed you the photograph because I still had a photograph of the O.J. shirt that I designed. but it's like packed away in the back. So weird. But yeah, you had the picture of OJ on the front. On the back, you had Don't Squeeze the Juice, number 32. But the shirt that I designed had a cartoon character of OJ on the front with the number 32 on the back, Don't Squeeze the Juice, of course. So that was one of the very first shirts that I ever designed. And so as far as selling, I didn't start printing t-shirts right away. What I did was I was selling shirts. And so the way I went about doing it, what he would do is he would give me t-shirts to sell on the corner of Crenshaw and Slauson. That's where I would be selling shirts. I have a table set up with a whole bunch of OJ shirts. People, they would ride past. One man standing on one side of me, he's selling bean pies, Nation of Islam. On the other side, you might have a Mexican brother. He probably selling pillows, toys, stuff for little kids. So we all was out there trying to sell something, trying to make $1. And people, we was making money out there. Crenshaw, Slauson and Crenshaw, that was the money spot, for people that was hustling, slanging t-shirts, bean pies or whatever, I did that the whole summer. So that's how I got involved. Now, I never printed a t-shirt when I was in Los Angeles. All I did was I made sales. And I really wasn't making all my money. Every day I would come in, he would give me maybe several dozen shirts. I'd go out and sell, I'd come back. And the way I got paid, he paid me 30%. So if I sell a t-shirt for $10, I would earn only $3 for every t-shirt. And sometimes I might sell one for 10, two for 15. So that was the deal right there. I only earned like 30%. That was my profit. But another guy by the name of Lanier, he was another guy that did the same thing I did, except he bought his own shirts. So what I mean is, when he come in, he didn't sell shirts for Larry, he sold shirts for himself. So what he'll do is he'll come in and he'll buy 4 or 5 dozens of shirts at wholesale. He'll go out, he'll make all his money, and he'll keep all the money to himself. And he told me I should do the same thing. Instead of earning 30%, I can earn 100% of my money if I just bought all my shirts at wholesale and go out and I sell them. And I make pure profit that way. And so that's what I started doing. I started buying my own shirts. Instead of selling shirts for Larry, what I would do is I would buy shirts from Larry. Once I buy the shirts, then I'm the owner of what I have. So I can go out, I can sell the shirts. And instead of if I sell a shirt for $10, I keep the whole $10. Instead of giving up $7. And so that's how I started making a little money that way. And I started making even more money when I went to Las Vegas and different areas like Burbank, Long Beach, Universal Studios. I was over there by Universal Studios in Burbank. Let me see. I think we did the Black Expo in Long Beach. We've been out to Vegas about 2 or 3 times to the fights, done some concerts. And it was a big concert. We made a lot of money off the Rolling Stones also. Matter of fact, the Rolling Stones had came to the Forum back then. The Rolling Stones, they performed at the Forum. That's the arena that the Lakers used to play. So the guy that I was with, he told me all I gotta do is walk out there, have 12 shirts on this side, 12 shirts on this side, and walk out there, and in about 2 minutes, all my shirts should be gone, and my pockets be full of money. And so I went out there, I did that, and just like that, my pockets was bulging with a whole bunch of dollars. And I was like, wow, I never made this much money doing something that I really like. But what I really liked was when I had designed my own shirts, which was the cartoon character of OJ, and Don't Squeeze the Juice on the back. And for the first time, a lot of people bought my work. And that was a real good feeling. And I said to myself, this is what I want to do. I'm actually making a lot of money off of something that I designed. And I said to myself, I think I found what I really want to do. I just need to do a whole lot more. So if I can make money off my own design, I figure I just got to do a whole lot of it to make a lot more money. And so, but that's the story right there. Now, like I said, I never printed a shirt in Los Angeles. All I did was sold shirts. So I was out there. I think I went to Los Angeles around the middle of May, and I left right before Thanksgiving. So I was out there for the whole summer. By the time I got back to Milwaukee, I was at my parents' house, and I told my dad, I want to open up my own t-shirt shop, screen printing shop, and start printing up shirts and jackets, sweatpants. And my mom, she didn't think it was a good idea because a lot of bad stuff happened, out there on the streets of Milwaukee. She thought I was going to get robbed or something might happen. You know how mothers are. My dad, the first thing he said was, well, son, I'll tell you what. If you find a shop, I'll go half with you for the first 3 or 4 months. I'm like, yeah, okay. And I went out there, and I think in about a week or two, I found a shop. And I opened up my very first shop right there on Martin Luther King Drive, right across the street from KFC, right there in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And unfortunately, I started having problems with the leaks in the building and everything. I had too many problems with the heat in the wintertime, so eventually I ended up moving to a second spot, which was 41st and North Avenue, right next to a hair salon. It was a lot smaller, but it was a lot better. The heat worked a lot better and everything. And this was around in 1997, something like that. And eventually I ended up closing up shop. See, the thing about Milwaukee, it gets really cold in the wintertime. So when it get real cold, I really don't hardly have any customers coming into my shop. It's not like Atlanta where people just trickle in all year round. Because see, once the wintertime hit in Milwaukee, you ain't getting nobody coming up in your shop. Either they going to be at the big giant mall or they just going to be at home. But that's how it is in Milwaukee. So I was in business all the way to like around 98, 1999, something like that. After that, I ended up shutting my business down. And that was pretty much it right there. I just started working every day. I think I kind of wasted a lot of years with the 9-to-5 jobs and everything. As far as the way I did my business, back in them days, I didn't have any computer knowledge. Matter of fact, no one had any computers. We didn't even have cell phones. I think we had pagers. So every time I got a call, I would get a beep on my pager, and then I would have to go to the nearest phone or a phone booth, and I would make a call. But that's how it was back then. Or, if I have a landline phone, I could just go to that landline phone. Uh, I didn't have a car, so every time I need to do designs, I had to jump on the bus, go across town, get off, go up into Kinko's, and have them to typeset my artwork and everything. Then jump back on the bus, ride back across town, get back into the shop. Then I could just get everything done. A lot of my artwork got pretty much freehanded. So like I said, I didn't have any graphic computer design skills. I didn't even know how to use a computer back then. So I would look at those days kind of like prehistoric. Because back then, no one had computers. I didn't know anybody that had computers. Eventually, my mother, she ended up getting a computer. And then later, around the mid 2000s, that's when I started learning how to use the computer. And then I started learning about the email and this and that. And then later on in the 2000s, I got off into going to school, graphic design school in Milwaukee. I started working at Coca-Cola around in 2007. I worked there for about 4 or 5 years. I ended up losing that job by 2012. And I had like some co-workers. They wanted to get off into the music business. They was looking for somebody to do some graphics for their CD covers. So I done the graphics, but I pretty much freehand everything. They thought I did it on the computer, but I told them I freehand everything, and they liked it so much. And they told me I need to be going to graphic design school. That way I could learn how to do everything on computer. And that's how I got involved in graphics. And I started getting involved in computers. And once I started getting involved in computers, I learned how to hook the computers up and everything. And that's pretty much it right there. That was like around 2010. I went to the Art Institute of Milwaukee, which is it's called Art Institute of Wisconsin, which is in downtown Milwaukee on the east side. I went there for a few months. I'd say about 3 or 4 months. After that, I started realizing that the Art Institute had different locations around the country. So I started going on the internet. I wanted to find out the 10 most populous cities for African Americans. And the main 2 cities was Houston and Atlanta. So I had to make a choice of which city I wanted to move to. And I started thinking about Atlanta because Atlanta is more popular on entertainment and art, the art industry. So what I did was I jumped on the Greyhound again, took a trip to Atlanta. It took me about 18 hours, an 18-hour bus drive. And I visited the school. I found out they had student housing. So what I did was I went back home. I told my mom I'm moving to Atlanta. I told my mom and dad. And so later that year, I said, because I went to the orientation, I think in August, something like that. By the time September come, I think it was September 28th was when I finally left Milwaukee. I left all my furniture. I was living on 33rd and Wells in a 1-bedroom apartment. The only thing I took was personal belongings. Flat screen TV and my weight set, I gave it to my nephews. Other than that, all my belongings, like my bed, I had king size bed, bookshelf, this, that, all the furniture, end tables and all that, sofa, I left it. I didn't care about it no more. I just wanted to start a whole new life in a whole new city, whole new chapter. So I ended up in Sandy Springs, Georgia, September 28th, 2012. Been in Atlanta ever since. And I got transferred to the Art Institute of Atlanta. That's in Sandy Springs. And I went there for several months. I had several part-time jobs. It was kind of hard to hold on to because they was like just little small temp jobs. And I was having a hard time trying to pay my student housing bill. So I decided to just withdraw from the school because I already had a year in. All I needed was one more year for an associate's degree. But I decided to just withdraw from the school and just focus on working. But I always had in the back of my head that I was going to try to find some kind of way to start my own graphic design business and connect the screen printing with it. And let me see, 2012, I withdraw in 2013. I started working for a moving company. Then I got a truck driving job. Now the truck driving job is what got me all the way to the south side of Atlanta. So I left Sandy Springs and I ended up in Forest Park. And I lived in Forest Park for a couple of years. Then eventually I moved over into College Park. And then in College Park, that's where I found my shop. And I started building, well, before I found my shop, when I was living in Forest Park, that's when I started building my equipment. So the first thing I built, well, first of all, I bought a computer. I started buying all my computer stuff. I bought the software, as far as Photoshop. Every time I would get a check, I would spend a percentage of my check on something for my business. So the first thing I bought, I already had a laptop, but what I wanted was a desktop computer. So I bought everything piece by piece. I bought a desk. Next, I bought a chair. Then I got another check. Then I bought software, which was Photoshop. Then I bought another piece of software, which was illustration. Then I started going up to Home Depot. I started buying wood. I built my first screen printer, a 4-color press out of wood. Then I built a screen dryer. Then I built a washout booth. I was building all these different pieces of equipment. Then eventually I ended up moving from there over into College Park, into a condo. And then I stayed in the condo for about 3 years. Then after that, I seen this shop. It was vacant. And eventually I was able to get this shop. And I started moving everything out of my place, all my equipment out of my place into this shop. And I've been in this shop ever since. And so there you have it, my story, as far as how I got started. How I started Edshaw Graphics. So I hope y'all enjoy my story. Subscribe to my channel if y'all feeling what I'm doing with this screen print. Subscribe to my channel. Hit that red and green button, which is right there at the bottom. All right, I'm out of here.